problem with the people of Madeira.
Hold on, Vice Chair, because you have been challenged there that you have no constituency. But I want to put this to you. Our headline in the Standard tomorrow is talking about the men that have failed president.
Yeah, he's one of them.
Yeah?
He's a lead if there are people who have messed Uhuru Kenyatta completely, my president. A man that I have a lot of respect for, and a man I worked for. And David Murathe knows, by the way, even the days I worked for Uhuru Kenyatta, I always told him the truth. These people, you know, you can imagine when you are surrounded by the likes of David Murathe and Francis Atwoli and Amos Kimunya, you will be in problems.
All right.
You know, you'll be in problems. Because these are people who are not truthful. And also, they don't have a ground. They don't talk to anybody. They are just hanging around. Now he's in Malindi. He didn't know what is going on in the Mount Kenya region. He's just having a nice time. And I wish, Murana, you can invite me there. I hear you have a very beautiful hotel. For old time's sake, invite me for a drink.
So perhaps you're having a good time as the elections. Yes, I'm coming to you, Vice Chair, perhaps with this question that you are part of the advisors to the president, and there are those who are turning their guns on you and saying that that's where the ball was dropped. You, the likes of Tuju and others have failed the president.
Sophia, the president is given advice from different people. He gets advice from the intelligence, he gets advice from family, he gets advice even from parliament, but he makes his call. Nobody tells the president what to do. By the way, Sophia, I don't work for government. I have no official status in government. When they talk about the government, the system, and whatever, they are talking about maybe the OP, they are talking about other institutions. But I would like to go back to what my friend Rigathi has said about disrespecting the president and the analogy he gave of the Moi era. These are the people who have no idea, and they're being dishonest because they know that the president, when he shook hands with Raila Odinga, what was it all about? They know when he formed the task force about the Building Bridges initiative, what was it all about? They knew when the BBI secretariat went around the country collecting signatures, what it was all about. Somebody cannot stand there and say they don't know because we have not had a party meeting to say what is the position of the party. The deputy president himself has made a presentation to the BBI, who is the deputy party leader of the Jubilee Party. That is as good as a party position. We have had individual members taking their positions to the BBI secretariat, because when it comes to constitutional making, it is not so much a party position, it's something, the principles which are agreed on. And I would like Rigathi to tell the audience, what is it in the BBI that they are unhappy about? What is it in the BBI that is not good for Mount Kenya? What is wrong with additional constituencies to equalize the vote? What is wrong with the principle of one man, one shilling, one man, one vote? So that going forward, it will not matter who is president, as long as the vote is equal, as near equal as possible. I'm told the formula is 132 persons per constituency.
Vice Chair, I want to go back to my question.
And even the distribution of the money. What is wrong with taking the money to the ward so that you create a ward fund?
Allow me to interject, Vice Chair, because I asked a very direct question for which you are not answering.
Which is?
The question here is, are you one of those people that are letting the president down? And there has been talk of perhaps there's a lack of unity of purpose, even within Jubilee, the Kieleweke side, that on one hand, you have the politicians like yourself pulling on one side with their own strategies, for instance, in this by-elections. And on the other hand, you've talked about OP. We keep hearing that's Office of the President. We keep hearing the likes of state machinery, Matiang'i, Kibisho mentioned, that the people under the president have different scripts, not reading from the same page, and that is why we are seeing these losses happening, because everyone is pulling their own end. Please speak to that.
Those people work for the president.
Are they overreaching into politics?
Their cue from the president. No. if you ask me my personal opinion, they should not dabble in politics. I don't think they do, but I believe they are a support system for the president. These are the people that are executing the president's programs, the president's plans. But politics should be left to the politicians. They can play a facilitative role. But there is absolutely no conflict. There is absolutely nobody misadvising the president. And I'll tell you, Sophia, these by-elections were conducted thoroughly. People went out, people met various groups, they met religious groups, they met churches. Frankly, if you ask me, I suspect that ruling of the court the day before the by-elections were held demoralized a lot of our people. And number two, like I was telling my friend Rigathi, I know they have a mind of their own, but I want to ask them, how is it possible that Raila Amolo Odinga can ask the people of Kisumu town to vote for an Indian, Shakil Shabir, and they vote for him? William Samoei Ruto can ask the people of Eldoret town, a cosmopolitan, to vote for Mishra, a Muindi, and they do. Or you take a Somali in Migori, and they vote for them. But here in Mount Kenya, where the president tells you, I want you to vote for Murathe Gachagua, and the people go out and say they are not interested, they actually are trying to rub his nose and say, look, we are so independent, we don't listen to what, we have our own situation. Of course, the circumstances, particularly under COVID and particularly under the economic situation right now, about money in people's pockets, yes, it is possible you can get a protest vote because there is no feel-good factor. But these people should also know that this is the same Uhuru who gave us the economic stimulus program, which everybody gave him a standing ovation. So they need to give him time to manage the pandemic, to manage the economy, to finish with the infrastructure, and then they will start reaping the benefits of the foundation which is laying for the entire country. So when you say we are part of the advisors that are misadvising the president, I think that is not fair, because the president has so many sources of advice. He is the most informed person. Some of it information, some of it is misinformation, some of it, and he has to sit back and decide what he goes with. It's his call. So when people start the blame game, I think it is not necessary. Let us agree. It is a contest.
Your candidate in Juja said the election was...
Your
candidate in Juja had said the by-election was rigged.
They said there were some votes which were not allowed to be counted, and that was the cause of the fracas. And by the way, when the CEO or the chairman of the IBC went down there, and everybody was calmed down, and things were done as per what the presiding officers had recorded, which was signed by agents of Jubilee and of all the other candidates. When they were tallied and the returning officer announced the result, everybody respected and accepted that result. And like I told you at the beginning,
yes,
this is the future that we are talking about, and that is what the BBI is all about. That you're able to go into an election, cast your vote, go home and do your work, and wait for the result in the evening, and there is no need for people to fight post-election. And that is why we're saying this is an achievement in itself. It is a pointer going forward that we will not expect post-election violence or a contested election. And that is one of the legacy things that this president is working on.
All right, let me bring in...
By the way, you don't have to win everything, Sophia. You must accept that some you win, some you lose.
So if the president is getting the best advice...
These guys are jumping up and down.
if the
for just winning two small ward seats. Suppose they had won the seats that TNA won when it first entered the space.
All right, let me bring back Rigathi, Honorable Rigathi, into the conversation. When you hear the Vice Chair